What do you celebrate?
The word. Book, chapter, verse.
Okay, Leviticus chapter 23. Leviticus chapter 23. And we're going to consistently show you that what you're in, which is called in Christianity, is not the truth, man. That's not the truth.
Okay, but you're going to the Old Testament, which is no longer in effect.
Who said that?
Paul said it.
Go to get your verse, but watch this. 23 and verse 4.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 23 and verse 4. These are the feasts of the Lord, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons.
So these are the feasts of the Lord. These are not Christmas, not Thanksgiving, not New Year's, right? Right? Not Easter. There you go, brother. Not Easter. Read.
Verse 5. And the 14th day of the first month at even is the Lord's Passover.
Did your church keep that?
Passover.
Did your church keep Passover?
We don't keep the Old Testament. The Old Testament.
Matt, go. Let's go. Hold on.
But
Matthew, Matthew, chapter 26, verse 17. Now the first day of the feast of unleavened bread, the disciples came to Jesus, saying unto him, where wilt thou that we prepare for thee to eat the Passover?
So Christ kept the Passover.
he was a Jew. He was alive at that time.
Christ.
He was also a rabbi.
Okay.
Why would he have not kept the Passover?
1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 21. We're going to go right. We're dealing with simplicity.
But,
okay, watch this.
Okay.
1 Peter chapter 2, verse 21. For even hereunto were ye called, because Christ also suffered for us, leaving us an example that ye shall follow his steps.
So if Christ kept the Passover, and Peter, all the way going here, he said we should follow his steps. His steps. His steps. Hold on, watch this.
Verse,
I'm going to let you speak, but watch. Sorry.
verse 22. Who did no sin.
Who did no sin. Read.
Neither was guile found in his mouth.
Neither did he speak a deceitful word. We have to follow him. If he kept Passover, we should keep it. The example is in 1 Corinthians 5 and 8.
I got it.
Okay, watch this.
1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 8. Purge out therefore the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump, as ye were unleavened. For even Christ our Passover.
Christ our Passover. Christ, we supposed to keep that feast in the faith of Christ. Christ is our Passover. Read.
Is sacrificed for us. Therefore, let us keep the feast.
What?
Let us keep the feast.
That's Paul, brother. He said, therefore, let us keep the feast.
Okay, Christ is our Passover because the Old Testament was done away with.
Well, did you keep the feast?
I keep the feast.
Did you keep the feast of the Passover, brother?
I keep my faith in Christ. He is the Passover.
Hold on, watch this, watch this. You seem not to be getting it.
Therefore, let us keep the feast.
What does that mean?
It means that Christ is the Passover.
No. We just read that read that last part for him again.
For even Christ our Passover is sacrificed for us. Therefore, let us keep the feast.
Now watch this. No, it's not
The book of Exodus, chapter 12 and verse 14. And this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and ye shall keep it a feast to the Lord throughout your generations. Ye shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever.
For what?
Forever.
Forever. So now, Malachi 3 and 6. Watch this, brother. We're gonna take it slow for you.
The book of Malachi, chapter 3 and verse 6. For I am the Lord, I change not.
What?
For I am the Lord, I change not.
So the Lord changes not, brother. Why?
Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed.
So would you think that the Lord said, oh, well, I sent Christ to get rid of the laws? That's a lie. What you got? Watch this. Okay. No, just go ahead. Go ahead, I got you. What scripture you got?
Hebrews 9 and 10. 10.
Okay, let's go.
That's a good one, dude.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hebrews 9, verse 10. Which stood only in meats and drinks, and diverse washings, and carnal ordinances, imposed on them until the time of Reformation. Go ahead. But Christ being come and high priest of good things to come, by a greater and more perfect tabernacle, not made with hands, that is to say, not of this building.
Now, what was done in the building? What was done in the building? Hold on. What was done in the building?
Sacrifice.
That's the point. When you're going into what Paul is talking about, he's talking about animal sacrifice. We're going to prove it.
Do you
Why?
practice sacrifice?
Yeah, we do spiritual sacrifice.
No,
Watch this.
no.
The book of Colossians, chapter 3, and verse 14.
Hold on.
14.
Hold on. Say it again. Hold on. Say it again.
Do you practice sacrifice?
You said it's not spiritual, right?
Do you practice sacrifice?
Spiritual sacrifice.
Do you?
1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 5.
Ye also, as lively stones, are built up a spiritual house.
Look, listen. Hold on. Watch this.
Ye also, as lively stones, are built up a spiritual house, a holy priesthood, to offer up spiritual sacrifice.
You just cut yourself again.
Well, where did you read that?
Read it again.
Ye also, as lively stones,
Where are you
are
reading
built.
from?
1 Peter chapter 2, verse 5, to offer up spiritual sacrifices.
That's New Testament. You just told me that there was no such thing as a spiritual sacrifice. You got cut again. Read again for the top from me.
Because the New Testament
Watch.
is spiritual
Ye
sacrifice.
also, as lively stones, are built up a spiritual house, a holy priesthood, to offer up spiritual sacrifices.
Spiritual sacrifices. Now hold on.
The book of Colossians, chapter 2 and verse 14. Blotting out the handwriting of ordinances that was against us.
Blotting out the handwriting and ordinances that was against us. The handwriting and ordinances that was against us was animal sacrifice. There were certain sins that animal sacrifice could not purge. Read.
Which was contrary to us, and took it out of the way, nailing it to his cross.